Oh my gosh, I just spilled my drink on myself. Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about new habits that we want to roll into the new year with. So if you are a stay-at-home mom who just wants to have better habits without literally burning herself out, this video is for you. If you're new here, my name is Caitlin and I am always trying to find the balance in all things in life. We want to give ourselves lots of grace. We will never be perfect, but what I do want is to always strive to be better. Now, what this video is not going to be is these crazy intense goals that might be fun at first, but you're going to completely burn out. For example, for me, I am not a 5 a.m. mom, and I've tried. It's not for a lack of trying. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first little hub, and that is physical and mental wellness. I'm going to say something that's kind of uncomfortable to put here out on YouTube, but I am overweight. I am someone that weighs more than what I should for my height, and that is something that I really want to lean on and fix this year. I know that it is not something that is going to be a quick fix, but I do really want to be healthier. I want to be healthier for myself physically as I'm getting older. I want to be healthier for my children. I want to be a mom that is just more active in general. By no means am I a couch potato, but I do want to be working out more frequently and also just eating a more balanced diet. So as far as exercise goes, I do want to start doing at least 2 to 3 workouts during the week. I do actually have a Beachbody account that I got about a month ago. I just want to be more consistent with that. But most importantly, I just want to be walking. I have a walking pad down in my basement. Obviously it's winter, so it's very cold outside where I live. There still could be times where I bundle up and just go for a walk, but I also have the walking pad downstairs that I can do. And I do want to try to aim to get like 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. I wear a watch that helps track my steps. And then, like I said, working out maybe 2 to 3 times a week. As far as food goes, I want to just be more intentional. I want to do some more meal planning. So making some breakfasts and lunches maybe in advance, so I'm not having to cook every single day. Focusing on whole foods, having higher protein, things like that. Drinking lots of water and getting plenty of sleep. Speaking of sleep, I want to focus on my mental well-being as well. Yes, I want to take care of my physical well-being, but I also need to take care of my mental well-being. I really want to lean back into reading more. I've been in a reading slump for truly a few months now, and I really want to kind of get out of that. While I've been in this slump, I've been watching way more TV. So once I get the kids in bed, I'm just like binging shows. It's normally when I'm snacking too. I really want to eliminate the screens right before bedtime because I've just noticed that it really is affecting my sleep. And so that's something that I really need to prioritize again. Speaking of sleep, I do want to make sure that I'm getting more hours of sleep as well. I've been staying up late almost every night. I think it's hard sometimes because you get the kids in bed and you're just like, all right, great, now this is me time. So the last thing I want to do is fall asleep because I have a quiet home. I want to be able to stay up and just have some me time. So I actually had somebody comment on one of my shorts saying that she schedules what nights she stays up late, and I really love that idea. And so maybe I just kind of habit stack that. By the way, if you don't know what a habit stacking is, it's a term from this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I totally recommend that you read it. It is a game changer. James Clear talks a lot about making these 1% changes, and when you continue to stack those, you make big long-term change instead of just focusing on quick change that normally leads you to burnout, which is truly kind of the theme of this whole video and my goals of going into next year. So if you haven't heard of it, you should definitely read it, or if you have Spotify, you can listen to it for free on Spotify. By free, I mean, like, I think you still have to have a membership to Spotify, but you don't have to pay additional money to listen to it. So my next little section of New Year goals is homeschool category. I really want to focus on having a little bit more of a routine when it comes to homeschool. I am kind of a very spontaneous mom. Like, I don't normally schedule play dates weeks out in advance. I'm kind of like a, hey, you doing anything today? Or got anything going on tomorrow kind of person. And though I love that about myself in some areas, I do want to get better at just finding more of a rhythm for homeschool. It is kind of something that can really get bumped easily in the day. And I don't mean bumped like we just don't do it, but can get bumped until 2 or 3. And I feel like that's not the prime time for my son to be learning or be able to focus really well. So I'd like to have a little bit more of a rhythm and somewhat more of a scheduling when it comes to homeschool. That being said, I've really fallen into the trap of waking up, making my coffee, and then immediately putting on a YouTube video. I hate saying that because I don't want to be the mom that's like, yeah, I wake up with the kids and then like they go and play and I just watch a YouTube video. But I want to be honest here, and that's been the rhythm lately, and I don't love that about myself. I am a pretty intentional mom at not being a scroller. I actually took social media off my phone about 5 months ago because I've found that it was way too easy for me to just sit and scroll on my phone. So I ended up deleting the apps on my phone. I just check them every once in a while on like my iPad or my laptop. But that has been a really huge shift that I've enjoyed, and I found that I'm not picking up my phone as much because of it. Stacking on top of that, in the mornings, it has just been a habit for me for so long to get up in the morning, make a coffee, and watch a YouTube video, and I'd like to stop doing that. I want to replace that either with reading, journaling, doing a little craft, something else. I just want to not start the day with TV, not only for myself, but I also don't want my kids seeing that that's how I just start my morning every single day. And so that is one habit that I'm currently doing right now that I'm not very proud of, that I do want to change. One other goal that I have as far as homeschooling goes is I want to create more hands-on activities. I used to do a ton of this when I only had my son, but I feel like it's been harder to do since I've had my daughter, and just trying to balance 2 kids. I do want to be more intentional at planning out some hands-on activities. This isn't going to be an everyday thing. I think I'm just going to start like once a week having a hands-on activity to help learning with the curriculum. But that's just something I would like to add in kind of our homeschool journey as we're continuing to evolve and learn and really find our rhythm. And the last little goal category that I have is savings goals. I've mentioned this in some other videos, but my husband and I are in the process right now of trying to find a house. It is wildly insane how hard it is in this season, in this economy. We've kind of realized that this could probably take a while for us to finally find a home that we can actually afford, in that we do want to be intentional about continuing to save money, try to find some areas where we can maybe be a little bit more frugal. So I just want to be more intentional about not eating out as much. I will say we typically only get takeout one night a week during the business week, and it's normally Thursdays. For whatever reason, Thursdays just kind of always becomes the takeout night. But where we get in trouble sometimes is on the weekend. On the weekend, I feel like we can go out to eat once or twice during the weekend. That is something that I do kind of want to change. I want to just try to continue to spend a little bit less on takeout and eating out. When it comes to grocery shopping, what I do is I kind of scan and see what food items I have already, and then try to plan some meals around that. I find when I do this, our grocery bill is actually lower because I am buying less stuff. Are all of these little things going to save us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars so we can buy a house? No, of course not. But we essentially are on a one-income household. I do bring in a little bit of money, but by no means is it enough to sustain us. So it is pretty much my husband's income that we live off of. And I also know that when we buy a house, our budget is going to get tighter. We're lucky to have a rent situation that is not skyrocket prices, and I know that's not going to be the case when we buy a house. And so I kind of already want to work on now living on a tighter budget. We benefit by saving that extra money, but then it also won't feel like as big of an adjustment whenever we do find a house, because now we're used to living a little bit more frugal in those ways. So I almost am viewing it as like it's preparing us for what our future selves, our future budget will look like. One last thing we're going to do in the spending category is the month of January, we are going to do a no spend month. And so what that means is we're only going to be spending money on essentials. I will say this will probably be more of a challenge for my husband than it will be for me. Not that I am perfect. I definitely can like buy the coffee while I'm out and things like that. But my husband is an electrician. And if you are married to somebody that is like blue collar, tradesperson, that kind of field, it is such a routine in their life to do gas station stop. One, because I have to fill up like the work van and things like that, but then it's just so easy for them to pop in and grab the energy drink, grab a snack, get a quick lunch. I think this will be a little bit more challenging for him, but it will be good for both of us to have this intentional month where we kind of do a reset. We actually did one last January and I really felt it. Like I realized like we needed that reset, especially when you're just coming off Christmas. You've just had a month where you're kind of spending a little bit more than you do typically any other time of the year. Having a month following that of just being a no spend, it just kind of feels almost like a juice cleanse. Granted, I've never done a juice cleanse, but what I think a juice cleanse would feel like, just kind of hitting the reset button and just feel like you're kind of like getting back into a normal rhythm or routine. So those are all the goals that I am setting for the new year. I know that right now, am I going to hit everyone and be perfect for all of it? Absolutely not. There might even be times that I'm a month in and I'm like, I got to readjust this goal a little bit. I don't know what I was thinking. And that's okay, because again, going back to Atomic Habits, we're looking to make these 1% changes to make ourselves a little bit better each time. When you stack all of them together, it actually creates long-term positive effect. And that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. I am a busy mom. I'm going to have days that are huge wins and I'm going to have days that are not. I'm going to have days where I'm eating so clean, all whole foods, feel really good and really energized. And then I'm going to have days where I'm eating a bag of cheese curls while I'm cooking dinner. And that's okay. What's important is that we just continue to try to strive to be better, to create these healthier habits, but being very aware that not every single day is going to look like that. I can't remember where I heard this quote from, so I feel terrible, but know that it did not come from me. I didn't make this up. I think it was a podcast maybe that I was listening to where they said it's only failure if you quit. If you just decide to quit, then you've failed. But if you're eating healthy on Monday and then Tuesday and then Wednesday and then Thursday night, you find yourself putting the kids to bed, watching Real Housewives and snacking, that was just a setback. It wasn't failure. You just had a setback. You had a moment. You needed a night to just kind of binge, have a little snack, and we pick back up the next day. I am someone that tends to be a very all or nothing person. And I think in the last year specifically, with a lot of content that I've been listening to, I've really realized that that's just such an unhealthy mindset to have, that us as humans we can't be perfect every day. It's literally impossible. So when I have a day where maybe it's not my healthiest day, I say to myself, it is only failure if I quit. And something about that line just kind of helps continue to reshift my focus, reshift my energy for me to not feel ashamed, but be truly actually motivated. See that I can keep showing up for myself, whether I have highs or lows. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of goals you're going to be setting for this year. And if any of them are mine as well, we can keep each other accountable, check in, Again, I would love for you to click that subscribe button down below and join this little community. It's just a community where we are all trying our best. I am really excited because next week I'm going to be starting a decluttering series, because who doesn't love a declutter post-Christmas, going into the new year? So cheers to all of us entering into another new year. I hope you all out there are having a great holiday season. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. It truly means the world. I love this new little hobby that I'm doing on YouTube. And just know that you are killing it and we can do this. See you guys next time. Bye.